sex and sharing. This morning I realized ending up just another.
Look, I'm Jasmine side.
You count up the years and they will be filled with tears.
Ooh. This is. I think we've hit our 60 seconds. Young hearts, be free. I love it. Ooh, sing it, Mike. Sing it, Mike. All right.
How long were you going to sing this?
We are.
This is disco. It's long.
No, we're not allowed. You have to turn it off. You have to turn it off. We're going to get sued. Way to go, Mike Wood.
So that's one of the songs I listen to late at night, and I dance in the kitchen with my dog Rusty too. So,
well, so true story. When I am old but young enough that went dancing to the clubs, and Last Dance would always play as the last song, like at 2 a.m. Okay, guys, it's the last, and then they would turn the lights on, and then you would see who you've been dancing with all night, and you're like, everybody.
So I used to live in Waltham, Massachusetts, and there was an Irish bar called the Skellig that was off this place called Moody Street that had all the bars and you could walk to it, whatever. So back in my younger days, I went there to with like they had a band playing and everything, and I'm dancing there, and at like midnight or whatever, they turn the lights on. It's time to go home, and the mole people that I was dancing with turn those lights back off. That went on like it was literally like I looked around like, oh my god.
When we first got married, as all of you know, when you start getting married, there's like a marriage season, right? There's like the we're all going to college season. There's the we're dating seriously, and then there's the wedding season. So you would have like bachelor parties or bachelorette parties like every other month or something. So Todd, my husband, literally went to this, like, they had this bachelor party at a strip club. It was like 6 a.m. and I'm like, where's Todd? Like, where's my husband? I don't understand. Like, I slept there. I wasn't worried about anything. And but then I'm mad because now it's like 8 and I'm like, what are you doing? And he comes home and he like passed out in the bathroom at the strip club. It's like 6 a.m.
He smells like coconut.
Yeah, he's like glitter. He goes, I couldn't be mad because he literally
glitter all over his face.
He was like, have you ever seen a strip club with the lights on? He was like, oh God. Like, it was like so disgusting.
No. And it's I don't know why they never ease on the lights. Not at strip clubs, but I mean just in general, any of these places where the lights go on and it's a horror show. Ease into it. We need soft lighting. Like it's always hospital grade lighting. Like HD.
The harsh light. Welcome everybody to the But First Coffee, whatever we call this thing. John couldn't be here, but he was able to send me at 5 a.m. a text message of Diane Carroll and Sunset Boulevard.
That he was ready for his close-up?
It's literally, yes, it was literally 5:38. He was like, look at this. And I'm like, I got chills, but also I don't know how to type that.
I think you might have a phone addiction, 5 a.m. with Sunset Boulevard.
And it was on Twitter. He's gotten rid of all of his socials except for Twitter. And that was on Twitter somewhere.
Twitter's the one he kept?
Twitter.
Twitter's the worst one.
It is the worst. I haven't been on there. And
all that brand equity I made for Mike Wood tweets, got that handle super early in the Twitter days, and now it's just garbage.
I used to be Pursuitology was my handle. So I would meet people and I'd be like, hey, I'm Jackye. And they'd be like, hey. I'm like, Pursuitology. They'd be like, oh, like that's when I
Well,
changed it.
so Twitter used to be great because I would go to these conferences and I would follow the Twitter thing, and it
That's
was
right.
like everybody making fun of the thing that you're watching, and
That's
it
right.
was great. Like I did lots of like I was sitting by John and Matt Stolak at Sherm one year when Barbara Corcoran was there,
Yes, yes.
and she was not PC and was probably drunk at like 10 in the morning, but it was awesome. So like I was like all on Twitter, like just like hashtag are you seeing this, John?
Well, our
Then I
great
also
producer, he said, this is like the 2000s equivalency of what's your AOL screen name. I would love to know your AOL screen name. Did you have one? You had to have.
yeah, and it's not as cool as you think it would be. So I got AOL when I was probably in like 8th grade or freshman in high school that time, and I played the drums. So I was just drum 33. That was me.
I'm still pretty impressed by the drum. I'm still pretty impressed.
Oh wait, no, I was, and then my AIM name was different. I was Woody 33.
But still 30. What's 33?
I don't know. I don't even like that number. 32 is the number I like, so I don't know why I picked 33. I think if I like the number 3, and 33 was Larry Bird's number.
So you were 33?
Yeah, well, it was lame. I used to put up these like song lyrics and stuff like in my AIM away message, like look how intellectual I am, and let me put this Counting Crows lyric up.
Counting Crows. Round here. I listen, my AOL screen name was Krabby Girl, but not girl. It was Krabby Girl, GRRL. I was in my freshman year of college and used to have to pay by the minute, and my AOL would get ruined because my mom would be like, I've got to get on the phone. It would break the whole thing.
Oh, I remember just being like, I spent all night downloading a song. What the hell? You picked up the phone and it broke. Or back in the LimeWire days, you download a song and then it's just like a prank or something, and you just wasted a whole night.
Well, it's just funny how we've advanced with technology, but we haven't. Oh, getting rickrolled used to be the funniest thing, and now, like, we don't. Those things go away. It's weird how something that's so popular, like your top 5 friends with MySpace, totally went away. I think a lot of it has to do with all of the ads. I just hate being sold to and all of those old platforms, and now that it just keeps creeping into the latest platform.
Well, and so like I look at Facebook, and I mean Facebook started to die when my parents went on it, and it's not cool anymore. And now I mean I'm in my 40s. I use it to basically post family photos to friends and stuff. But once the politics and more, I want to see less of people. Because like Facebook told me that these people that I thought that were normal connections in my life are crazy.
That's full crazy.
Like
I started unfriending people when I was like, I don't care about your kid's graduation. When I started thinking things like that in my head, I'm like, unfriend. I don't like being emotionally drawn to a negative place in the middle of my day because some rando wants to talk about.
So we had Mother's Day this weekend, and I went and my siblings and I and my parents, we all met up at my brother's house, and it was just where they were asking about like some relatives that we have that are on social media and stuff. I'm like, nope, I unfollowed a long time ago. I don't need that in my life. Like it's a reality show.
But what do you use? What do you go to on a regular basis?
Reddit. I go to Reddit all the time. I am 100% addicted to Reddit, and it may be, I just love that it's like tiny blurbs and you can click through if you really want to. I think people are the funniest on that. Some of the comments and the stories that are on there are great. It makes me laugh. And then the other social network I have is the old school social network of like 3 buddies of mine. We've been in a text group since COVID. Just every day, just different comments and whatnot.
I have great text threads, but I'm addicted to YouTube. I have a real problem. And I think part of it is because I paid to not have any ads.
Oh, okay. I didn't pay that.
So it's worth the $20. I don't like the ads, but I'm literally on there like all day, all night, like almost 20 hours a day.
Well, and are you still getting ads? Because I swear,
No.
like all these like tiered ad things that like I paid for Prime Video and I got the ad free, but it's like not really ad free. It just means less ads. And I just feel like I'm constantly
because you
getting
can pay
ads.
like $6 for not as many ads or $100 for no ads. No, I'm fully ad free. But people are getting smart and they just put it in their video. Right? Like
Oh, yeah.
you'll already get to see it. You know, you'll be able to see it in some point. Well, anyway, I mean, there's no segue back. There's no segue from the history of social media to the actual topic.
No, so Reddit is good. Threads is something that I kind of got into a little bit. But the politics is just exhausting. It's just so
it's everywhere. I mean, you can't get away from it. And like, because of the emotional reactions that come up with it. Right.
Yeah, it's integrated in every part of life now. It's not a separate thing.
But what's sad, I mean, here's the segue. We're so used to being able to pull out, like if we don't want to see something, we can unfollow, we can get out of it so that we don't know how to deal with these challenges. And now we have these performance reviews where people don't know how to communicate, and you can't unfriend your employee. You can't not deal with the conflict. But people don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah, and so I was excited that we were talking about this because I have always hated performance management. And that's not to say that I always get bad reviews. I've gotten good reviews, bad reviews, whatever. Oh, I like this little graphic. This is nice.
I know, right? It's my favorite.
Throw my face over John's body.
Brilliant. But it's like, I love that it's just taped. Look, it's literally taped over his face.
Like last minute change. Like the part of John Baldino will be played by Mike Wood.
Mike Wood today. That's right.
So, like the whole performance review stick. My first experience with it with the scale of 1 to 5.
Yes,
and so that's pretty standard. But if you look at it, it doesn't give any wiggle room, and so 5s don't exist. Like we'll just say, so 5 was the best. No one's going to get a 5,
right?
Because that just doesn't exist. A 1 doesn't really exist because if you give an employee a 1, that's basically telling them you're going to fire them. If you give them a 2, they're on thin ice. A 3, okay, but nobody feels good about a 3, and a 4 is great, but it's not a 5. So like the whole thing is just like you're set up.
Everybody at your company is basically a 4.
Well, but then they have to stack rank people, and so you have to go with the scale, and so you have like let's say you have to get, and I know this now that I'm older. Let's say so at one company I got a 2, and there were people that were getting 3s and 4s, and that was the 2 was a surprise, which your performance review should never be a surprise. That's another thing, and it was like, and then I was like, really, it really bugged me. Anybody who gets a 2 can be like, that bugs me. But it really bugged me until I thought about it. And I was like, okay, this person on the team needed to get promoted. This person needed to get promoted. You can't give everybody a 3. You can't give everybody a 4. And I'm not saying I'm perfect.
What do you need to do? That's the challenge. Like what you're talking about is really true, but we don't teach what those 5s, 1s, or 2s mean, right? So then it comes back to HR. I'm like, he gave all 1s. Like, do we need to start talking to the TA team? Do we need to replace everybody? No, they all need this. And it's like, wait, you need to, if you have all lows, then the manager's not doing their job, right? Like, and I think that the managers get nervous because they're evaluated on how they evaluate their team. So like, if everybody's a 5, then why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you doing?
And I get that it's tied into compensation and all that stuff for the next year and budgeting. But when you're giving people a 3 and they're not getting a raise, or you're saying that, well, you met expectations, you're not going to get a raise, you'll get the cost of living wage raise, which Usually I remember it being like 1%. It was nothing. And then, so it's a 1% raise. Meanwhile, the cost of living has gone up by more than 1%. So it's like you're actually making less money.
Gosh, I remember, here's the other thing that's a challenge. And I've gotten this probably now I'm going to be 53 on May 30th. I've gotten this three times in my career since I started when I was 16 at Subway Eat Fresh.
Were you a sandwich artist?
Yes, I was a sandwich artist, and I still love BMT's biggest, meatiest, tastiest on Italian bread.
Like, we got a bunch of meat in the freezer, and it can go on this bread.
Let's slap it up. Bro, the other day, there was like it was a Supreme sandwich, and and the bun was like a French bread bun, but it had Supreme pizza on it. And then it had the Italians, the Genoas, the salami, the prosciutto, all in the middle. 3 bites and call 911. Like, I mean, like, what are you doing?
Like, what is that? But like, you made this abomination. Like, did it whisper to you, "Kill me"? Like,
I mean, does it come with a Tums and a seltzer? But 3 times in my career, I have you better. I've gotten the feedback of everybody loves you and you're great, but you aren't able to do this thing that we need. Like, I've gotten that 3 times, and I think there's a lot of challenges. If you like Kim Scott, who wrote Radical Candor, talks about an employee that they had that everybody loved, that was like the soul of the organization, but his work was not just bad, like it was really, really horrible. And
was his name Mike?
I think he was good, and I think he got a 2 on his. But actually, but when she sat with him, she said she finally sat with him, and he had been there for like a year and a half, and finally said, "Oh, you're not doing your work very well, whatever." And he started crying, and he was like, "Why didn't anybody tell me?"
Yeah.
And that was the worst part. Like, they thought they were being nice by not firing him and giving him a chance, and never told him that the work, never gave him a chance. At this point, they didn't have time to show him that the work can improve. Like, it had gone too far.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the best advice that you've ever gotten? Like, tell me about the best performance review.
So some of the good ones that I remember, I try to block out every performance review from my memory, but the good ones that I remember is if the feedback was logical, it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
And I knew that the manager had my back. So, I mean, Kevin Mullins, my old boss at Work Human, when he gave me any criticism, it was always from a place of coaching that you could be better. And I want you to be better. Whereas I've worked for other people that give you feedback and it's just specifically designed to tear you down.
Yes.
So I think, so that's something that I picked up early in my career, that if I'm on the other end of this, if I'm giving performance reviews and I have a team, stand by them, grow. And like the best teams that I've had, probably the best team I've ever had was that Work Human team, that our comms team, we all stood by each other and supported each other. And if something went wrong, we dealt with it. If something went right, that's great. But we rose and fall as a group. And there are organizations out there where you have a manager that's afraid of their employees getting more attention than them or whatever, and will just constantly shoot you down. So I remember that. The other thing that I've had trouble with my entire career is separating normal Mike and everyday Mike from corporate Mike, because I talk to everybody the same. And I like we're all doing good work, but you can have fun while you're doing it. You just don't want to be distracting. So that's some advice that I've done to tone it down a little bit. What about you?
I think, and I changed it before. I got really weird feedback. Can you hear me? I'm frozen. I don't know if I'm
No, I can hear you.
Okay. The best advice that I got was that, and this is going to sound crazy, that I had low self-esteem. And I was like, what do you mean? And I don't think the right word was low self-esteem. No. What he was saying was, because I think I'm great. But what he was saying was, you care too much about what other people think, and you stop your work to get feedback, and you don't just commit the work that you have, and the work that you have is really good. You don't need to wait to move forward for other people's opinion. And that was like really good advice, because I've done it so many times where it's like, okay, I've written the report. Let me ask the CFO what they think of my report. Let me ask this person what they think of my report. Let me ask my team if they think I should change the report. And then somebody will say this, and I make the change, and I'm doing this, and it's never prepared, and it doesn't get put in there. I mean, but also like my own team, I loved, and I like what Mark is saying. I met with the members of my team every week for an hour, every single one of them, and we would talk back and forth so that there weren't any surprises. But I didn't realize until I became an executive over people that managers didn't do that. And a lot will refuse, depending on what the workload is, refuse to meet with them. And we had to say, you have to meet with them at least once a month. And I'm like, dude, what do you do? You're not talking to your team? Like, it doesn't have to be formal.
No, it's just like so the only thing I miss about being in the office. So I haven't been in an office since COVID, but at Work Human, we had I don't look forward to this meeting, but it was good that we had it. We had a Monday morning kind of kickoff where everybody's just, what are they working on?
Yeah.
And that was the best, because it's literally just like, okay, this is what I'm trying to accomplish this week. If there's any stressors or anything, I can ask for help. Or a lot of times it was somebody was working on something else that could help, and they just, oh, I'm doing this sort of thing too. Like, and so that was just great to know what people were working on. But then I've seen our design team used to have a stand-up meeting, or like there was a lot of things in the design team that was strange as someone who was not in the design team. But they would at like 9:00 every morning, they would have like a 15-minute, like they'd all huddle around somebody's desk and talk about what they're working on. But it's usually in the middle of everybody.
Yeah.
So like now I can't do anything because I'm watching the craziness in the design team. And so that was kind of weird. Plus it was like it always felt like they were putting someone on the spot to screw up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we also don't coach people on how to communicate, how to present. Like I had one boss that every time we met, we had to say what we were working on, what was getting in the way, and what tools that we thought we needed in order to get it done better or faster. Like, and then they would ask at the end, do you have all the tools you need in order to get this job done? Because so often we'll ask people, well, like, did you get the thing done? Where is it? Where's the report? But we never ask, why aren't you getting the report done faster? Are there any tools that are missing that would help you get this done faster? And it would help to always not just stay on top of what the project is, but then you can see what they thought they were missing, helps you see how the employee thinks about the project and what they think is important. I think people get tied up into the minutia of the small pieces and don't realize like all of the work that has happened. Like, I think Work Human, I think you and Work Human is a great example, right? Like, oh, we want you to, I don't know what the core of your job was, but what I do know
I didn't either.
Oh, well then that explains.
No, I did.
Yeah, but I think what is interesting is that the people that I met, and like this was John's 10th Work Human, and I met John, so he had already been part of the infrastructure when I met him. He was just part of the DNA, and I'm still there. I'm still promoting the conference. I still go. They should be giving you residuals.
It's still a good conference. And so I will tell anybody that's been to the Work Human conference or whatever, we were a small organization when we started that in 2016. And so there was a couple of the comms people. I was running social media at the time, plus helping with, speakers and whatnot. But we we cared a lot about that event. Right. And we built it into something different that a lot of people have copied since. And
That's
it's
right.
great. I loved Work Human Live. I would talk on Work Human Radio the entire time. I would get to meet great people.
Yes. Oh yeah,
I
Work Human
I
Radio.
met
That was so
Michelle
great.
Obama.
Yes.
She gave me a hug.
That's right. She
I'm
gave
not
everyone
someone
hugs
that
that year.
I am not someone that people give hugs to, like unprovoked. So it was really strange. And what was really funny is that like I've been around. So like at that conference we had Viola Davis, um, Elaine from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We
Yes,
had like all
yes.
these famous people, but she was the most down to earth person that I met
That's right.
while I was there. Well, side note, Michael J. Fox, he came in 2018 and he was phenomenal. And I will always be a fan of his.
2019 was my first, so that helps me realize like where I fell in the numbers. I was like, how many? Because people kept asking me. I was like, it's not my 10th, but I started in like, like
It's close.
2019. I was
But
like,
you
it's not my
remember
7th.
how like yeah, so like the last one that we were there together was probably Nashville. I
Nashville.
think. And
Yeah.
and I believe it was either the year after or it was pretty close to the whole Me Too thing.
Yes, yes.
So we had Ashley Judd, we had Ronan
That
Farrow.
was the bet. Like that was a life-changing because people were so nervous and that's what was so. And I'm writing about it right now, and I'm about the season of loneliness, and that's what we saw all over and over in everybody's presentation. It would be like AI, and people don't like people anymore, and it was like, and I say that to say, I am the person who people talk to on planes. I swear to God, it's not always me, but I am the person where they sit down next to me. They're like, "Oh, hi," and then we get in these conversations. So she was at work.
That is an absolute nightmare. I want no one to talk. I'm a talkative guy. Do not talk to me on the plane. That is my time. Or on the train. Or
There's nothing on. I'm always just like, but I'm the one with the kind face. I always get people, even if it's not me, I promise.
I would talk to you because you're
I will,
you talk.
It's the smile.
What kills me about the whole Me Too thing is like we made tremendous progress of calling that out.
Yes.
And we all stood like next to each other and we almost had people sign a pledge for it, but like we all stood saying, this is a problem. This is clearly a problem.
And we go home back to your offices and fix it. That was what the lady next to me said. I was disappointed because I went to Work Human because I wanted to get solutions for the problems. I didn't want edutainment. I wanted to get answers for the problems that I'm experiencing. And I told them, I was like, what changed at this year versus previous years is that Work Human was the place that wouldn't let you look away. So often it's like, oh, this isn't a problem. Yay, yay. This isn't a problem. Let's just keep going.
We've gone back to that.
Was always like, this is in your face. And when you go, and as a result of going back to that, we were doing the thing like, oh, welcome, whatever. And we're looking around, there's 3,000 people and nobody's standing up. Like nobody's doing the yells, nobody's doing the high fives. And it was like, where am I? And I think part of the challenge is there's so many problems. We don't have a movement right now. Like, what are we going to do? Like, yay.
Like, here's a list of 15 things.
Down with war or Black people unite. What are we rallying around? Like nobody knows what it is. And we also don't want to get like shut down for saying something stupid. I just posted I'm about to post a post. The EEOC is getting a lawsuit against an organization for anti-American sentiment. Like I was like, if people are not terrified by this, this is it's actually terrifying. But so, I mean, people are really scared. If the government can sue you, you can't have a rallying cry and then we all go to jail. We all go to jail for saying.
And it's like the little, like they're creeping into the language of who they're going after. And now it used to be like, we're going after illegals and that's blah, blah. Now we're going after Democrats.
We're going after like Mike because he has an upside down American flag in his house. Like, it's not even like
So I
for
have,
major
so I,
infringement.
I have an overactive imagination. I watch a lot of horror movies and stuff. And so I was like, I was thinking about my neighborhood. So I live in, a normal like cul-de-sac neighborhood. I remember I have a couple neighbors that were like all giddy after the Charlie Kirk assassination that a couple teachers got fired for pointing out the horrible things that Charlie Kirk has said. And I was like, what are we doing? Like,
You should be terrified.
I am, because if they start going door to door, guess who's going to sell me out?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that was interesting during the last election in my yard, I had signs for the candidates that I was supporting. And
which candidate was that?
I voted for the person who looks most like me. And so as I put up the signs, a lot of neighbors came by and they were like, thank you for putting those up. I'm not allowed to put anything up. I don't have anything up in my yard. And I wasn't going to put anything up in my yard. And then I live in Waco, Texas, in case people don't know. It's the big brass buckle of the Baptist Bible Belt. And it was like, no, they need to know that there's a little girl somewhere that needs to know that this candidate has support somewhere. Like, somebody has to be able to see it. So I was like, okay, I'll put the sign up. Thanks for making me feel bad. For putting the weight of the world on my shoulders.
But I've also heard that, they're pitting, Republicans against Democrats and all that stuff. Whereas we should all be fighting together for a better cost of living, because things are getting insane. Period.
Period.
I honestly think that the McDonald's of the world and whatever during COVID or whatever, we're losing all that money. They're all publicly traded. They need to get that line going up, so they just increased prices, and they kept increasing.
Well, and they increase, but they increase prices now because we no longer are united. Like, but also what McDonald's did, besides we're not using them as, they are not the example. However, during McDonald's during COVID, and people were going home, and we were all afraid of leaving the house. And people at McDonald's were like, screw you, McDonald's. I can go work for freaking, Amazon at home. I can work for American Airlines at home doing this work and make a ton of money. They increased the minimum wage when they were pressed to do so. Right. And that we lost collective power about the things that are important to all of us. We've lost that, where they're trying to say, this person is taking your job, and this person, they're trying to take our eye off the ball, and it's working. And that's why we don't know how to communicate at this point. We're terrified of how we represent our opinions, our organizations, our thoughts to each other. We say we want transparency, but then if I say, I really need you to work harder, then I'm a bad person because I don't care about a person's family. If I say you don't take enough days off, then I'm getting you, I don't care enough about the organization. Like, it's getting crazy. I felt so like we were going in the right direction, and now I'm like, I'm so confused.
We just go around and around and around to different topics and stuff. But yeah, it just, I mean, so corporate America is fine right now, but I swear that this generation that's coming out of schools and whatnot are going to remember every one of these layoffs that get announced. Are going to remember. So I was brought up, my dad worked for the same company for 50 years, retired for that company. I was brought up, you work hard, you stay at one company, whatever. That's not the case anymore. But like now, like, you can choose, if you have the opportunity to choose where you work. Would you rather work for Meta, which could cut you off and have a horrible working environment, or Cisco, or any of these companies? Like Cisco and so we'll be timely here on But First Coffee. Cisco announced 4,000 layoffs. This morning, but the best part was the press release. So the press release starts off, we had record profits. Yay, yay, yay. Buried in the bottom is we're going to get rid of 4,000 people.
They did that at Cloudflare too. I posted yesterday. I was like, Cloudflare reported all of these wages and also fired all these people and have 195 open jobs. all at the same time.
Yeah, so I see. So Mark has another great comment. That
Marcus
is college.
always has a great comment because he's
Yeah.
simply the smartest person alive.
So he says that his college students don't know how to communicate, and I'd say it's all of us don't really know how to communicate post COVID, or we're out of. I've found like small talk to be more difficult now than I remember it used to be, or like going up and ordering something from an actual person. It's just, recency bias. So I think like I send my kids to like, we were selling Girl Scout cookies. I was like, you're going to sell these. I'm not doing all the work for you. Like, it's like Girl Scout cookies.
I mean,
and I'm like, no, you need to sell this. You need to practice.
I think
it's like anybody who gets on stage that gets like nervous. It's just because you're not doing it every day.
That's right. That's right. And our producer, Jamie, said AI is just making it worse. I so agree. Well, one of the things that's really funny is when I type, so, some people know, like I had surgery. Sometimes my back is really in pain and I'm in different positions, but if I'm in those, I know how to type. So I'm in those different positions. So I'll spell every single word wrong, but AI knows the word that I spell I'm talking like my whole hand shifted to the right. So everything was wrong. Every single word had a typo and it could read it and it knew exactly what I was doing and I never fixed it. And I say that because my son, who's in his senior year education major, had to write this paper, whatever. And because of AI, the professor made them all come in, hand write it. They all had to hand write it. And I was like, my son doesn't know how to spell. Like, and he doesn't. And the answer is they don't need to know how to spell. They just need to know how to read. They don't need to know how to spell anymore.
I bet overall penmanship has gone down.
Oh, look at signatures.
No, so like my grandmother used to write down the weather every day. My dad writes down a lot of stuff, and they're pristine. It could be with a felt pen or something. I get them, I'm like, Happy Mother's Day.
They found after COVID, when all of the kids were on Zoom doing their classes, when they got back, they found that little kids didn't know because they didn't play and use their hands, couldn't pick up a pencil, didn't have the aptitude, didn't have the muscle to be able to hold a pencil because they didn't do all of those gripping toys and all those games. That's just like, we're not using our brain muscle, like you're saying. It's a major piece. And what's going to be interesting is we know people are going to use AI to do performance reviews.
We
absolutely know.
Well, and if you use AI to do a performance review, then you can't be accused of any bias.
Yes, you can. Listen to me. Here's the thing that is funny, but not funny. I go in and I wanted a picture and I'm explaining everything to my family. I'm explaining my family to create the picture. And I put my picture in. My husband is white. My kids are of mixed race. And I had blonde hair for a long time. So I put the picture in and it put me with black hair. And I said, no, I have blonde hair now. And then it made me white. And then I was like, no, I'm black. And then it made Todd black. And then I was like, no, my husband, the bias is already in there. People say it's not biased. It's absolutely biased. And I called the people at Adobe. It was Adobe. I called the people at Adobe and I sent a picture of my sister and me, a literal picture, a literal photograph. And it came back with 2 white girls. And I was like, I'm not sure how this happened. I posted it on LinkedIn because apparently I think it's like my group chat. I think LinkedIn is my group chat. And I put it on LinkedIn and the people from Adobe said, can you tell me the prompt so that I can see why it made that picture? And I said, no, tell me the prompt that I need to use so that a picture can come back and look like me. And they never responded. Ghost. Just fully.
I would love it if I put a picture in and it made me black. I'd just leave it. and just let somebody else.
You're so, you know what? You wouldn't trade for them. You couldn't handle it. Listen,
a lot of makeup every day.
You're very sensitive, Mike. You are very sensitive. Your heart would be hurt. I have to tell you, like our relationship, we are like classic introvert extroverts.
Yeah, no, I need my alone time, but I am an extrovert. I love talking to people, but sooner or later that level is hit and get me out of there.
But it takes a level of comfort to be able to say what you want to say, you know, and for somebody to say something. I don't know. We had a group text. There was a chat last week and a girl posted about HR saying it's really not our fault. Everything that we do comes from leadership. We're just like the henchmen. So be nice to your HR person. And we were like, and it said like open to networking. I was like, you just said you don't know how to do your job. Right? Like you had to wait for people to tell you what to do. You're acting like you don't have any power. It's not all leadership's fault. Like you can push back and do all those things. It's your job to tell leadership what's needed. So people don't know how to communicate, but they don't actually understand the problem a lot of times, or what their remit is, or how to spell remit. Like this seems to be the world that we're in. And I'm not sure the entitlement is, but the employees are using AI too to review what you said, like as a diagnosis. And so you say you're supposed to do that. They'll do every single thing and get fired anyway. The lawsuits are going to go up.
Yeah, I'd probably take my performance review, throw it right into AI and be like, what do you think about this?
Should I sue? And they'd be like, yes. And I'd say, for how much? And they'd be like, 5 million. Should I get a lawyer? No. Like the bias is there. The point is the bias is there and it grows with you. It's your own. You have to remember that when you go in and you're using AI, the AI that you're using, the model knows what you will think is okay. So it's giving you the bias about yourself. I will never forget. Go to
ChatGPT tells me all the time that I have great ideas.
You know what? You do. I'm just gonna.
No, but it does like, yeah, there is. So that's interesting. So look at how people using OpenAI and people using something like Claude, how their performance coaching kind of thing. Because I remember like OpenAI at one point loves everything that you suggest to it without having a filter. It's almost like having a boss that loves everything and you're doing things that are going to end up.
And they think you're hot. And they think you're hot. And they think that you should, you know. Like,
I never got that with my man. Well, Kevin did look at me a little strange. I'd always look over at his office and he'd be like,
oh. I think that like the days of it being unbiased are over when people started using it, because it's been evolving as we evolve, and we don't look like we're evolving very well. If you look at at the news, there is definitely messaging, what's popular, what gets attention, how to communicate. I think, and I'm not saying, I'm not going to be over political, but I do think it's really difficult when you have someone that you're supposed to look to as a leader call somebody stupid on camera, when, you know, with the standing in front of an airplane and saying you're a stupid person. And then you're like, and I'm unprofessional. Like, yeah, and I'm not a true leader. You know, I think, oh God, Jamie said the lesbian couple asked AI to complete their family. They got a husband and a dog. Oh my God.
Wait, in addition to the lesbians? I guess
did they cut one of them out? A lesbian, John? I mean, Jamie, did the lesbian couple, did they get a husband did it turn into like a throuple?
This was a pretty popular story that was on Reddit for a while. So it was classic lesbian couple, and they posted a photo to Reddit and specifically said, "Complete our family." It was an AI test just for this the racism and biasm, and they basically got generated an output where it was the two females. One looked slightly younger than the other, made the younger one a little bit less younger to almost be a child, added a husband, added a dog, and it looked like what AI may call a more traditional family in the eyes of AI, but it completely de-lesbianified. Is that a word? I'm going to coin that word. De-lesbianified.
Can we get a shirt that says de-lesbianified photos with the actual picture?
Hashtag de-lesbianified.
The Subaru logo gets taken off the car. We put a different logo.
I'm telling you, I thank you for coming on, Jamie. Jamie is like my favorite human, and I always have to forget that he does not work for me, and we do not technically work together, but I make him do so much work. So I'm always so glad that Jamie.
No, well, so he brought up an interesting point about AI. So AI will go towards the mean. That's what it's designed for. So if you tell it to make a family, it's going to make what 75% of families are.
But they can read it and see. But the thing is, that's the bias that it's already built in. So when you say things, here's my favorite. Like, I think this is funny. I'm a 53-year-old Black woman. If I go and say, draw a 53-year-old Black woman, it makes me look so old. And I always have to check myself. Like, do I look like that? Because I could, right?
No, the walker,
It has I have rollers and all of a sudden a bathrobe.
Always wearing a bathrobe. Yep.
No, I've got super fashion. I was like, but then you go, but it also didn't do like on the black wrinkles and all these things. I've said, no, I'm a Black woman. That's not what Black women look like. We don't got that. The wrinkles and the things, whatever. And then I was like, I had to look a little younger. And then I looked like a 17-year-old. I'm like, you don't know any Black people. But like, it's not that hard. It's not that like you don't know any. Everybody ends up looking like Michelle Obama or like Dominique Dawes or like famous.
Oh, so like
it'll be a mixture
straight hair.
And all of a sudden I'll look like Rihanna. Like it just doesn't know. I'll look like Oprah. All of it. It's like it doesn't know what it is. But what's scary and so for everybody to know, Mike and I are working on a game show together, and we both vibe code and do various things. What's been interesting is that all of a sudden, Claude mostly like Claude the other day as I'm building said, you need to download the software. It wrote the code all in to use one particular software and was like, we can't move forward. I mean, and it's like I asked it to make pie and it was like, you need a pie pan or we can't make pie. And it said, we can't move forward until you download this software. Then none of it will work. And I'm like, it seems like a small thing, but that's huge. I literally, without evaluation, without doing it, downloaded the software. Now it could have said, and now we're coming to your house and you owe us $10 million and whatever, because I wanted to put my logo in the corner or I wanted to capture email addresses.
So I'm sure you're paying probably $100 a month for Claude. I am.
Yeah.
If you're going to build anything, do that. It is so unbelievable that now I used to have like tons of different ideas and like, oh, what if we did this? What if I created that? But I never had the technical prowess to like actually create it, or I'd have to go hire someone. I don't have the money to go hire somebody. Claude does all of it. And so now Claude has taken that limitation off of like, how far can you dream? How far can you think through something? So like, I was thinking, and so I use it. I put up a whole website on the wrap. And I'm releasing later today an article about how I feel like these agents, these LLMs, like if we have a Claude account, can you imagine you have your Claude account or whatever, you plug your LinkedIn data to it. You plug in, let's say they already have a thing with Greenhouse and you can find jobs and stuff. Like your agent is going to end up knowing you more than you know yourself. And so what I see in the future is we have agents talking to agents, only getting to like whether you want to work here is that when that first meeting is like whether you want to decide to work there or not.
That's right. I mean,
and so I invite everybody to check it out. It's a little bit better when I wrote it out instead of just off the top of my head, but it makes sense. Like there's so many, like, so I was just writing about, and you know, this with Greenhouse's software, or Greenhouse says that applications are through the roof, like 400%. And that's true. Like we all know this, we all see it. You all go on LinkedIn and you go and you look at a job and it's already been applied to by like 4,000 people. Right. LinkedIn doesn't care. LinkedIn getting tons of money off of that, but the whole process is broken right now.
That's right.
And so it's crazy. So like what Claude lets me do is kind of explore that because it has access to everything. So I'm like, look at the BLS numbers, look at this, and it does all of that. So I invite anybody that's out there in the audience to really get into. I just love Claude, and even the little things like of keeping myself organized.
That's right. I like that. Oh. But I also what I ultimately, so the ultimate goal of my product is to allow people to auto apply to companies that meet their mission and vision. But what's
you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Auto apply. Hey, I don't blame candidates for auto applying.
I'm auto applying because now again, what happened was there was a VP of talent role at a company called Best Friends, which helps dog and animal shelters. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a volunteer at our local animal shelter. I'm on the animal welfare board. I'm a certified trainer. I board and train dogs. And I'm a VP of talent. I'm an HR influencer. I would be perfect for this job. At least have a conversation. I had too many White Claws, as one does. I said, I'll apply tomorrow because I don't want to answer these questions like an idiot. And I went the next day and they were no longer accepting applications.
Too many White Claws. You're just like, after the third, you're just like, I shouldn't apply for this job.
No, that usually happens before the third. I'm like, choice.
So you'll laugh at this. I think it was 2010. I ended up working for WGBH, which is the PBS station out by me. And at the time, I was coming off of a layoff and the recession of 08, 09 or whatever. And I got that interview, and I don't remember applying for that job. Like I applied to so many jobs at that point that I had no idea. And it ended up being a great place.
Challenge. I mean, right now, I am really worried about people's mental health. Let me look at the auto apply. I don't want to leave the site. The fact that I just didn't close down Restream and leave the site is actually a miracle. Someone should give me a round of applause. But I have one that I started during this process of testing to see what it would get. And it was like 1,400 jobs, right? Getting rejections back. And I don't think I should have qualified for them. I don't think it was like 1,400 jobs that I was the best candidate for. But it was like 1,400 jobs. We haven't taught people how to communicate, but then how do you deal with somebody's rejection, right? What is a person who gets rejected from 1,400 jobs supposed to do? I mean, people are so fragile. We already know people are lonely. We know people are retreating and using AI as their best friends. And now we have organizations that post a basic customer service job and get 3,000 applications. Right? Like it's way too much. It's way too much. But I would like to see, I don't know how I think people are getting in this attempt of being like, you can say whatever you want, but also we're going to sue you and put you in jail for what you say. We went from going to radical transparency back. This is worse than political correctness. Like you blame it on people being woke. This is worse than, and first of all, I don't know why being asleep
is a great being woke?
What? Go back to sleep. I mean, that's stupid. But like now people don't know what they're afraid of saying anything.
I don't know. I would love to push the boundaries of free speech, but that's a bedrock principle of our country and why, freedom exists is that you have the freedom to say whatever you want to say. I can look at a cop and tell him what I think about him, and he can't really do anything. But now it's freedom of speech with conditions. It's
right.
like, it depends on what type of speech.
That's right. And it depends on your level of power. That was always the biggest fear. It depends on your level of influence, the amount of money you have to get out of a situation. Your race has a big difference. What country you're from gets a big difference. We've all seen the video of the guy who's getting beat up when they were like, why are you trying to arrest me? And they said, because you have an accent. Like, what we're in
It's written
right
into
now
the law. It's
is
written into the law that they can pull you over for looking Mexican.
They took off the Spanish in whitehouse.com. They no longer have sign language interpreters. And this is the world that we live in right now. And we cannot normalize people living in fear of not saying what's going on, because we are gonna lose of innovation because people are afraid to communicate.
And then you get exhausted when you feel like you're like pointing out things that like aren't right and they're still happening. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'm tired right now.
It's just like the whole, like for example, like the BLS numbers, like don't tell me every month that new jobs are coming in and there's the unemployment rate is staying at 4%. Great. And that's probably great for the people that have stocks and stuff.
Right.
But you get on the ground and you start talking to people and you realize that this number shouldn't even exist. It needs to be an underemployment index. It needs to be something that shows what level you are able to earn compared to the median cost of living. So I'm working with Claude on trying to do that.
They have to, but I am trying to help tell people what it means. That's the problem. Like, it's not just the numbers. Don't tell me that there's 2% lead in my water. Tell me what 3% lead will do. What are the consequences? What does this number mean to my community, to my potential wages, my earning potential, the value and equity in my home? Like, I don't understand the numbers. And they come out every month. Like, what does that mean to me? I still can't afford gas. And I'm in Texas.
Oh, what's your gas at?
50 cents. Yeah, it's like right now, I think it's like at $4.69.
Okay, I think I'm at $4.55. But I actually, so it was 2 weeks ago. It was definitely during the Iran war. I filled up one car in the morning, and then the other car I had to fill up later in the day. And I got so I signed up for some direct debit type of thing to save 20% or 20 cents a gallon. So great. By the time I filled up the second car, it was 20 cents more. So I
lied, by the way.
It's gone up that fast.
I haven't used Gas Buddy since I was really, really broke. You could still use Gas Buddy. It says it's $4.69 is diesel, and it's $3.79 for whatever. Not
diesel.
That's
good.
Right.
Those are current prices.
Yeah.
That's not a discount.
Yeah. My husband just came in here to tell me those are current prices. Thank you.
All right, we got people live on the scene.
Back up. Yes, that's right. My executive.
I'll go get gas right now.
Yeah, my research team. I am happy to say, I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock. I will tell you, I am so happy. My oldest is on tour, and they started in Boston, and now they were in Houston, not last night, but the night before, and they're going to Dallas to perform. Their Clay Nation, which is great. Clay Nation is going to be in Dallas with another band that I can't pronounce, and I hope they're not awake and they can hear me, but they all came and spent the night at the house, and it was like so great to have them all here. So I'm in my bedroom doing the show. I can't believe, like, first of all, I can't believe it's already 10 o'clock. And second of all, I can't believe that we had an hour intro. Like, we never even got in deep. Maybe John can go on vacation again next week. We got plenty.
John goes away and the show goes off the rails. We are just talking about whatever.
Well, I mean, Mike, officially you're part of the circle now. You are.
I'll come and comment. Yeah, I usually throw a couple of jokes and then I leave.
Because
I have meetings or something.
well, I will tell you, I personally, I have a podcast with Katie, I have one with John, and I have a show with Mike. So now Mike is in the Jackye loop. All of my board of advisors.
So eventually, we will get people and squares off the ground. As I got the wrap up, I kind of focused on that. But we're hoping to create a fun game, and just some. We did a couple of live shows that were really funny. I just think they're fun. Oh,
I mean, yes, and I think we could do Claude Talk. Me, you, and Jamie will do Claude Talk. Jamie's also in the circle. I mean, he's like look at that. I think that's the FBI. I'm so glad that you were here, Mike. Everybody remember, I'm a strong yes. Everybody needs to work with me because I said so. But make sure you're following us on that's why we have this producer. Make sure you're following us online. We were live today on Switch. I don't know, or Twitch. I don't know if this was our first time on Twitch, and the network is building. Make sure you click and get your coffee mug, and also make sure that you're playing the HR Trail. Try not to get dysentery.
Wait, you have an HR Trail game?
You don't know about the HR Trail game?
No.
Go scan it. Scan it up in the corner right now. I expect to see it. The goal is the same. Try not to get dysentery. Very important.
I have to ford the river.
Yes.
I lost 2 oxen back in Mississippi.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Make sure that you play the HR Trail game. It's silly. It's silly, but it's fun.
Did Jamie make this?
Of course.
Okay, Jamie, I can't wait to try that.
I say of course, but I mean, I think your relationship with Jamie is relatively new. You will know. You say anything to Jamie, he is the ultimate producer. He can crank it out shortly.
Jamie's awesome.
But I don't want to.
He's always going to some cool show whenever I see him. He's always going to some cool punk show, or he's living the dream.
He is living the dream. Literally, but I'm glad he's all the way in Nashville because we'd be best friends and hanging out all the time. So we would just be we eat the same food. One day, me and Jamie pulled out all of our snacks in our bag. We had the exact same snacks. It's weird.
Okay, what are the snacks that are in your bag?
We eat we eat different protein bars. We eat weird food that nobody likes but me and Jamie. That's why it was really funny.
Okay, that is weird. Yeah, and then I'm protein bar.
Oh God!
We eat food that everyone goes. We eat food that most people need other food to eat with.
You're I want a cracker that hurts to eat.
I don't care about my gums.
And that just explodes.
Fiber through the roof.
Fiber, yes.
Fiber all the way.
Listen, we got to go. Say bye, Mike.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye. Clink.